Welcome to the Crystal Crawford Show. I'm Crystal Crawford. And if you watch me weekly, that is not a big surprise, although this has changed. But if you are new to me, I'm an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, and I get to travel around the world and facilitate Access Consciousness classes, and travel all over the world online and facilitate Access Consciousness classes. And so if you're brand new to the tools of Access Consciousness, how you do that, I want to really invite you to check it out, accessconsciousness.com. These tools have completely revolutionized and changed my entire life from the bottom to the tip. And so my topic for today is, I love the name of this show. What did I call it? I have to look. I love it and I can't remember it. Hi, Maxie. I called it How I Use the Tools to Fuck Myself Instead of Empower Myself. A tutorial. Now, to be fair, I don't know if this is going to be a full-on tutorial because I can't totally stay on topic. But I actually had a few of you, every week I'm going to ask you to send in your questions around the topic. And I'm so grateful when you actually take the time to do that, because it gives me a sense of where you are. And what I really want to be doing with this show is talking to where you are. Okay? So what I was looking at with this topic was, okay, so in Access Consciousness, we have all of these tools. It's basically this dynamic, massive toolbox, okay? And so it would be like if you go to Home Depot. So, okay, no, it would be like this. For example, I just got a new house. Okay, so I was living with somebody that ended dynamically, very quickly. I created a new house within 24 hours. So I'm just moving in, right? And I don't currently have anything in the new house. And so I have to furnish it and buy stuff and go to Walmart and go to Home Depot and all the things. So I was realizing that as I was, doing the new house stuff, that I don't have any tools in my house at all. I don't have anything. I don't even have a stray hammer. So I'm literally going to have to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever and get tools. So this is what Access Consciousness is, actually. Access Consciousness is this big, dynamic Home Depot for your life, okay? And when you walk into this Home Depot, you get to choose what tool you use for what. Now, you may want to paint a room. Now, if you're going to paint a room, is it going to empower you to paint the room to use a hammer? Or is it going to empower you a little differently to buy something that might put the paint on a little easier, right? And what I've started to see is that we have these tools. For example, interesting point of view. I have this point of view for every single thought, every single emotion, every single fucking thing that comes through your head, okay? Then here's the way you can use it. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Okay, so you get the thought, right? Pick up a thought. It's in your head. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. And if you stay present with that thought, being the space of interesting point of view, it will change. Now, here's what a lot of us do. Here's how we fuck ourselves with these tools, okay? We do the tools instead of be the tools. Now, I will say in the very beginning when I was first using the tools, I didn't know that there was a difference between doing and being. I mean, I heard about it, but it's not, you just know what you know when you know it. So I would do the tool, right? So I would have a thought and I would go, interesting point of view, I have this point of view, interesting point of view, I have this point of view, interesting point of view, I have this point of view, because they said if I use this tool 3 times, that thought will go away, right? They said. So I'm doing the thing that they said I should do, but it's not working. This tool is broken. Is the tool broken? Or did I pick up a hammer thinking that it should be a paintbrush while I'm trying to paint a room, and I'm a little bit upset that it's not painting the way I decided it should, right? Now the thing is, most of us don't even know we're doing this. And I'm talking about it tongue in cheek because it is kind of funny when you look at it. But also, it isn't even that serious. It's just kind of like, are you using the tools in a way that actually makes your life better, or are you using them to torture yourself? Right? So this difference between doing and being is dynamic. And to be honest with you, this is the conversation of Access Consciousness. Are you doing money? Are you trying to do money? Are you trying to do what you've decided is going to create money? Or are you being money? Are you doing relationship? Or are you being communion? Are you being gratitude? Are you being trust? Are you being honoring? Are you being... Doing and being is the conversation. And I kind of got that about 3 years ago. I had this epiphany in the middle of class. I was taking a class with Dane here, one of the co-creators of Access Consciousness. And I don't know what happened. He said something. And in these classes, you have to use a microphone to talk to because it's got to be on the recording and there's like 200 people in the room. And so anyway, I ran up to the microphone and I'm like, Dane! And he's like, Crystal! I said, being is the point. And he's like, yeah. Now go create something. Anyway, so it was this like, oh my God, being is the point. But I didn't know how to apply that in a way that would make my life work. So what I had you guys do was, if you were willing, send in some situations that you felt like weren't changing, right? Like you've used all the tools and you've tried all the things and it still wasn't changing. And I want to look at some of these situations with you. You guys ready? Okay. And if you have something on here, put it in there, and if I get to it, I'll get to it, okay? What's a situation that you've been trying to change that seems like won't change? And Paige says, remind us, how can we know what tools to use when? So here's the coolest thing about Access Consciousness tools. Is so you're walking into this Home Depot. Let's call Access Consciousness a big, massive Home Depot, right? The coolest thing about Access Consciousness tools that's a little bit different than my example is that any tool will get you there. All the tools actually lead to one place, and that's the place of allowance. The only thing that it doesn't let something change is judgment. Okay, so if you're judging something about you, and it can be anything, if you're judging your money situation, it can't change. If you're judging your body, it can't change. If you're judging, no matter what you're judging, that's the thing that can't change. So it doesn't really, here's the thing, it doesn't really matter what tool you use. What matters is what you're being with it. Are you doing the tools, or are you using the tools and being them? Your presence is actually what creates the change. So let me play with this for a second, okay? So, okay, here we go, right? So Ross is amazing. He sent in a thing. Hi, Brittany. He goes, I said, hit reply and send me your thing that doesn't seem like it's changing. And Ross goes, it would appear that I'm using the tools to make sure I never get laid and never get paid. But hey, nobody's interested in that stuff, right? Not very bright and not even very cute anymore. Wah, wah, wah for me. Okay, so is anybody else not getting laid and not getting paid? I'm just saying. Is that a thing? Is that occurring? Okay, so here's how you would use the tools to disempower yourself, okay? So let's just take interesting point of view for a second. You could go, well, interesting point of view. I have the point of view that I want to get laid and I want to get paid. Interesting point of view. I have the point of view. Hi, Julia. I want to get paid and I want to get laid. Interesting point of view. I have the point of view. I want to get laid and I want to get paid. Well, that's an interesting point of view that nobody wants to get laid and paid, right? It's an interesting point of view that nobody wants to pay me. That would be using interesting point of view to disempower yourself. Well, let me show you what you could choose instead. I'm not getting laid and I'm not getting paid. Interesting point of view. I have the point of view that I want to get laid. Now, what I want you to pay attention to as I play with this is what changes in the energy, okay? So there's the interesting point of view, I have this point of view energy, and then there's the interesting point of view, I have the point of view that I'm not getting laid. Interesting point of view, I have the point of view that I want to get laid. Interesting point of view, I have the point of view that I think I have to get laid. Interesting point of view, I have the point of view that I think I can't get laid. Now, if you tune out your ear senses and your eye senses and you just tap into the energy of it, you might notice a difference. And what I'm choosing with one way of doing it is being really, really present with whatever I've decided is a limitation, right? We all have these places in our lives where we have decided certain things are possible and certain things are impossible. And if we're committed to being disempowered, we're going to use the tools to continue to disempower ourselves and blame it on the tools that the tools are broken, okay? If instead we're like, what is it actually going to take to change this? Now that really, truly, that's the question that begins to empower us, okay? And I started looking at this in my life. I was like, there's these certain places where I'm really willing to be empowered. Right? I'm really willing. And so I go into the use of any tool, and any question you ask is actually a tool. What else is possible here that I haven't considered will change your life? If you're actually curious. What else is possible here? Just the words by themselves are like, you know, they're just words. The color blue is just blue unless it is describing and creating and being this energy in your life that can change things, right? The words I love you can be said, I love you. Can also be, I love you. Like, I love you. They are completely different energies, okay? And I was like, oh, so if I'm not being with my points of view, if I'm not being interesting point of view with my points of view, I'm actually probably committed to something else. I'm probably using the tools in an effort to get rid of something I decided is wrong with me instead of getting present with something that I'm choosing. How are you using the tools? Are you using them to try to get rid of things that you think you shouldn't have? So I shouldn't have this point of view that I don't want to get laid and don't want to get paid. That's crazy. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. As interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. It is not changing. Why? What are you being with yourself when you say that tool? Are you being allowance where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm choosing not to get laid and not to get paid. That's, oh, I'm sorry, body, right? Like, oh gosh, I wonder what else I could choose that would actually be more fun than that. Are you being that? Or are you being, God, that's dumb. This is so dumb. Like, I'm stupid. Fuck. What's it gonna take, right? Which comes from this other place. That comes from this place of judgment. And that doesn't empower you. That actually beats you up for being dumb. Are you beating yourself up for being dumb? Or are you being gentle with you? It's very interesting. Okay, let's look at another one. So, Gary Gilman sent something in. He's like, I can't change this thing. I've got this thing going on in my ears. And he calls it tinnitus. Okay, I don't know a lot. Here, when he sent this in, I was a little bit like, I don't want to talk about that. Anyway. I don't know anything about tinnitus, as if I need to know something clinical about tinnitus to change it, right? This is one of the other things we do. I can't change this. I don't know anything about this. That is disempowering me, right? It's not actually asking any questions about it, right? So with anything that's not changing in your body, you've got to be willing to ask a question. So if you're not asking a question, if you think you have to get rid of tinnitus, so let's just decide for a minute that tinnitus, which is this ringing in your ears, is a problem. It's a fucking problem. I need to get rid of this, right? How many of you try to change what you'd like to change or what you say you'd like to change from the place of, I'm fucked up, this is a problem, this needs to go. I need to get rid of this. That's one of the first places you begin to disempower yourself. Why? Because you are the creator of everything that shows up in your life. You created it. You chose it. Your body has these capacities. So when you're saying, I want to get rid of this, who are you separating and judging and rejecting? You. Shit. Guess what you need? Guess what's required for you to change anything in your life? You. So instead of going, I have to get rid of this, the different way we look at it is like, okay, so let's suspend belief for a second and say that I am the creator of all of this, right? I created this. What is this doing for me? Question. What is this doing for me? With that question, there's an energy of curiosity. There's an energy of curiosity. Now, how many of you are actually curious about what you're doing? And how many of you are just judging it? Fuck, I'm doing this thing again with money. Fuck, money, right? Judgment, 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 which disempowers you and holds that firmly in place, right? So what we try to do is we try to use the tools from the place of judgment. You can't create change from there. So the tools seem broken. You can't create change from judgment. So anything you try to create from the platform of judgment with the tools is going to seem like it doesn't work. So then what do? Interesting point of view. I have the point of view that I think I have to change. Interesting point of view. I have the point of view that this is a problem. Interesting point of view. I have the point of view that I want to get rid of this. Interesting point of view. I have the point of view that I didn't create this. Interesting point of view. Like, you get really present with what it is. Now, how many of you guys are actually willing to know the good and the bad and the ugly about what you're choosing? Right? We all have these places where we're really committed to being broke. How do I know? Because a lot of us show up as broke. You only create the things you're truly committed to. That's how powerful you are. That's how powerful you are. So, do you judge yourself for that and then try to use the tools? And is that working to create the change you're asking for? Or do you just get present with, like, I'm so committed to being broke, it's so crazy. Like, I mean, like, literally, I keep proving, every single choice I make keeps pointing back to broke. Right? Wow. I'm like, I am actually, like, I'm using so much energy to stay broke. It's actually crazy, right? And from that place, all of a sudden you're being an energy that begins to loosen up the judgment. Because guess what doesn't let anything change? Judgment. So the only time the tools will feel broken is when you're trying to use them from a place of judging you. Anytime that you feel like you have to get rid of something or get something out of your world or fucking change something, but from that place of like, fuck, this is fucking shitty, right? Oh, I hate that I do this. The tools will seem like they're broken. So the key is to recognize that you're doing it, right? The key is just to go, okay, I keep trying to change everything from thinking I'm fucked up. That's cute. Now you could also judge yourself there. That's really cute. I love that I'm doing that. So great, right? Or you could just be entertained by it, because it is actually really, really amazing what we do with ourselves here. We keep telling ourselves we're fucked up and trying to, like, okay, so if you had a friend that constantly told you were fucked up, would you hang around them or would you just tell them to fuck off? Right? You're so fucked up. God, you're fucked up. You're still fucked up. God, I can't believe you haven't fixed this already. I can't believe you haven't changed it, right? If we actually had a friend that did that, we would tell them to fuck off in a second. But because it's us and we're in our own body, that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I can handle myself. No, you can't. You're your own worst weapon. You're terrible to you. You're actually terrible. You're being a cunt to you. Stop it. Stop it. You don't have any reference points for creating change from allowance. Because who showed you that? Right? Who showed you change from allowance? I didn't have anybody that showed me that. I had judgment. That was my teacher. People who did judgment. People who did projections and expectations. People who did criticism. So I'm not saying you've had a lot of great teachers. If you're anything like me, you had 0. But what I am inviting you to look at is how you're treating yourself with the tools. You can use interesting point of view, I have this point of view, to judge the shit out of yourself. Or you can use it to just get really present with something you're choosing. And you only choose things that create for you or that you think create for you. You only choose poverty when it has value to you. And I mean that from a place of like, it has value to you. When did you begin to choose that? What did you believe and buy and decide when you began to choose that? What was going on in your world that you chose that? Now, it's probably not serving you anymore, which is why you're trying to change it. But you cannot change it from judging you. So if you'd really like to change it, and I know this is a whole other conversation of what are you truly committed to here, because like sometimes we say we want change, but we don't really want change. And how do I know? Change doesn't show up, right? If you are trying all the things and you're not getting the change that you are asking for and saying that you want, guess what's happening? broke, or you're committed to failing, or you're committed. It's okay. You're not wrong. I mean, I know that's kind of confronting, but you're not wrong. You're just committed to that. That's it. You have a new choice available in every 10 seconds. So the moment you see something, you can go, wow, okay, gosh, what's another choice that I can make here? Like okay, so I'm committed to this. Okay. I don't even know what it would be like to be committed to succeeding at something. Like, what is success with money for me? I don't even know what that would be like. I've never asked myself that question. What is succeeding with money? What is succeeding with my business for me? But that is the energy of really asking yourself. Like, if you were having a conversation with you, would you treat you the way you've been treating you? If you were having a conversation with a friend of yours who was like, I don't know what to do to get this to change, what would you be with them that you haven't yet been willing to be with you? That's what I'm talking about when I talk about like the energy that you be with the tools. Are you being judgment with the tools? Are you burying yourself alive with the tools? Hey, thanks, Christian. I've been wondering about you. It's good to see you. Hi, Ashley. Or are you being an asshole? Are you being an asshole? Or are you being kind? And so let's look at one more thing. Okay, so Vivian sent in something. Okay, so she goes, it seems like no matter what I do, and boy, I read all the books, I've taken all the classes, I'm still struggling with debt. Okay? For those that came through the money thing, I suppose they can't stand all the complaining about it. Well, I'd love to make it work instead of the domino effect. Okay, so is anybody else still struggling with debt, right? So this is something I've been looking at my world. I've been looking in my world about too, because I have done classes on this and I facilitated around this, and I'm still choosing to just pay my minimums on my cards. And we all know that if you just pay your minimums on your credit cards, they just, they pretty much stick around forever. And I've known this, and what I've noticed that I was looking for was some sort of motivation to pay it off, right? I was looking for motivation. Tell me I'm gonna die if I don't. Tell me. And also looking for my back door as well. I happen to know bankruptcy is a choice, and I don't have any judgment about it, so I could always choose that, right? So it's keeping myself in this no choice place, just doing exactly what I needed to do to get by, and that was it, and not looking at it. So finally the other day, I think last month, I finally started really looking at the debt thing, the past expenditures, right? I spent some money in the past, and I'm paying double or triple or quadruple for every single thing that I bought because it's fun. I don't know. Still. So I started asking the universe to show me. Now, again, before that, I was just judging myself for having past expenditures. But the moment that it began to change was the moment I just let go of the judgment and I went, okay, universe, show me, give me the information that I require to change this for myself. Because I don't know what I require. I keep looking for something that I don't know what it is. Literally 2 days later, I actually asked the universe to show me. 2 days later, Stephanie and I were running bars. 32 points on your head. Amazing. Do it. She was running my bars. And somehow we got into the reference materials. Now the reference materials are this like 3,500 page vault of information from classes past. And I don't know what brought it up. We were talking about something unrelated. And the section that we looked up actually had some information about past expenditures that I didn't have in my world before. And it created in me the desire to pay them off. Now, if you're trying to fix a debt problem, you can't get there. Debt's not actually a problem. It's just a choice. Money isn't a problem. Having no money isn't a problem. It's just a choice. And something like Miriam, you wrote, but I can't survive if I don't keep some money for my kids, so I can't pay it all. So this is what we do, is we have a thing and then we justify our thing, right? We have a thing like past expenditures, but then we justify why we can't change it. And that's where we actually disempower ourselves more than any other place, is every single time you justify why you can't change it, you can't change it. You can't from there. You will, and it won't matter what tool you use, because you've already justified why you can't. So in your world, that's a fact. We've make these things a fact, right? I can't survive if I don't keep some money for my kids, so I can't pay it. So that's what you create over and over and over, is that point of view. And then you judge the point of view, and then you judge you can't pay it. And so all the judgment holds that all in place, and you're completely disempowered. So now every creative capacity that you do actually have available to create something different is like cut off at the knees. So the thing to do with all of this is listen to yourself. This is being a great facilitator of yourself. Start to listen. Miriam, you look at what you just wrote there. But I can't survive if I don't keep some money for my kids, so I can't pay it all. Just listen. Okay, so that was a but. So anything that is a but or because is a story. And I would just say, hey, you said that like it's a fact. Is it actually a fact? Is there any limitation in that point of view? And if there is there anything else that you could choose? And this is the crazy thing, you guys, is our point of view creates our reality. That point of view is creating her reality right now. All the points of view that you have create your reality. So when you judge your points of view, you dig them firmly in. When you look at your point of view and you just go, oh my gosh, wow, interesting. That's so interesting. And really, when you look at it, it's fucking interesting where we function from. It's like, it is interesting. Like if our points of view were a science experiment where we were discovering and exploring mold, we would find this a lot more fun. But instead we've bought, this is so real and so true, and it means I'm a terrible person. And so, you know, we just judge ourselves and disempower ourselves continuously nonstop, right? But in reality, they're just interesting. It's like mold growing on top of cheese. Like, it's just fascinating that that's growing like that. Wow, there's like 4 different kinds of mold on my life right now. You know, there's orange mold and green mold. Like, that is interesting. I wonder what created that. And I don't actually I'm not really that interested in mold on my life anymore. So I wonder what I can be to change it. And just that energy begins to shift it. Everything we talk about in Access is about the energy of it. The energy of judgment kills everything you're trying to create. The energy of wonder and curiosity and delight and like tickledness, tickle pink. What if you could be tickled pink at your points of view, right? And be like, that was really funny. Begins to change it. Because you're not buying it as something that's so significant anymore. So I'm going to stop with the beatings now. Morale has improved, thank you. And I would be so incredibly grateful if you shared this. Like, if you got anything out of this, I would just love it if people could find it. So if you would, that would be grateful. If you would, that would be grateful. I'm making up a new language. And otherwise, I will see you guys. I'm going to be doing a class on this soon. You'll see it. I make it loud. And you can come join me. And otherwise, I will see you guys next week. I hope that contributed to you. I adore you.